hadin ga jingilang jong ga kanhon kabinet balakhot daw menteri rangba ga jelau konrad ke sangma uba pol lengdo ubadi nong aktin jong sarkar jela hapakran hakilat thai khubor ulai tho ba ka sarkar kalarai ban pendon kam ya ke crime and criminal tracking network system lani ke CCTNS ban talasi batti benia ya ke jingim bar ke jinglong jong ki nong belabar jela ibuan rung hapo ke jela Meghalaya uba pol lengdo ulai tho ru bak sarkar kalabu ya ke Kuna ke bahadu silak tengka persya ya ki nong Pynkhein bakin hapan siu lada syam bagi Pynkhein ya ka Meghalaya Identification Registration Safety and Security of Migrant Workers Act uba polong do ulong ru ba ka kenhun menteri kala manjur ya ka amendment jong ka Meghalaya Identification Registration Safety and Security of Migrant Workers Act arajar arpho ha ka dorbar penuan jong ka ying dorbar thoan bakan ajeng manjur ulai thuru bagane ke jing terwa ban penhe ya ka Kuna na ka san hajar sya ka silak tengka persya ye gitu gibru ke Pynkhein ya kene kan badru ye gitu ke Pynkhein bunsin ya kene kan kandon ke jingset along ke balak ban kot hadu lai benai kawai ne kimat ke bokongsan jong ne amendment batmai ka long bag sarkar kan Pynkhein ya kirkom trekam ha ke ban Pyrkhing ban wat jingtip sepang ka rukom im bat ke jinglong jong ki nong belabar jela kanang ban pentkna batang kito ki bom padon keti hakikam boman kinyo ban wan tri bela ha Meghalaya kene ke jing Pynkhein ya kan kalami hadin ke jingjur ke jing talasi nong bela barjela kiba klem kot klem sla dagi kenhon seng bahlang hapo ke jela hapo penpau ba ke Meghalaya ka sngewbha ya ke jingdon kam nong bela ki Nabar ke jela long kani gede Nabar ke jingduna jong ki nong bela trai muluk bat kumta ke Jngwan ki Briew ki Nabar kan bunbha balada omla ban pentkna ya ka rukom im bat ke jinglong jong ki kan selong ke jingma bat kamdon ke jing shong suk shong san jong jela Meghalaya ketkum ke jungong jongu ki arjat ki Briew ki bawan sa Meghalaya ki de ki nong shang suari bat ki nong belah.
In today's cabinet meeting, one of the major items that was taken up, discussed and approved was the amendment to the Meghalaya Identification, Registration, Safety and Security of Migrant Workers MIRSS Act 2020 and the Meghalaya Identification, Registration, Safety and Security of Migrant Workers Rules 2020. One of the major components of the new amendment is that the state government will optimize efforts to check the antecedents of migrant workers to ensure that only those with no criminal antecedents can join the workforce as migrant workmen here in Meghalaya. So the cabinet decided that it would make use of a system, a central system called briefly CCTNS, or the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System. Under this system, which is a database of crimes and criminals, we will ensure that on the basis of this data available, we will be able to verify the antecedents of migrant workers, and two, the local police will also be able to verify these antecedents based on this system. The system is available with the police, and the Department of Labour will coordinate accordingly to ensure that the records of those who will be registered as migrant workers here in Meghalaya is properly verified. The original Act of 2020, there was a provision that whoever is found guilty of violating the Act, they were liable to a penalty of 5,000, a fine of 5,000 per individual. But the cabinet will bring this up to the State Assembly in the session which is to be held shortly whereby we will enhance this penalty from 5,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees per offender. In the case of repeat offenders, there will be an imprisonment, simple imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months. So the Principal Secretary Labour is also here along with his officers if there are any further clarifications that you might need.
Can you tell us the crime committed by the migrants and compared to the crimes against them in the state?
No, the criminal antecedents of the workers.
So, in that regard, can you tell us the percentage of crimes committed by them in the past?
No. These are workers who wish to work in Meghalaya, for which there is this act under which they will be registered. So they have to either obtain a police verification from the home state, or when they reach Meghalaya, get their antecedents verified by the state police, which will utilize this crime and criminal tracking network system, and based on the verification done by the police, the Labour Department will then process their applications. It stands replaced by this amendment.
No,
approved by
interstate
the
this
cabinet
one,
today.
if I just make it,
Yeah.
interstate migrant worker and also migrant worker, these are two different acts. One is National Act, that interstate migrant worker, and this one is Meghalaya Act only. Under the interstate migrant worker, there should be a contractor from the state in which they come, and it will be the number will be more than 5 people. Here under the state, it will be one individual also.
One individual can also
less
register.
than 5 people. That is for the purpose of this Meghalaya Migrant Worker Act.
And who will be checking whether all the documents and these migrant workers they have submitted all the documents or not? Who will be checking that?
This will be under the purview of the Labour Department, and an officer not below the rank of Labour Inspector will be given this task, will be tasked with the responsibility of verifying and checking the documents submitted.
But do we have enough manpower? We are now thinking about them as potential criminals. Then what about other citizens also? They can also be criminal elements can be there.
Mm-hmm.
So why only the migrant laborers you are considering?
No, what is the question?
Crime, the crime and criminal antecedents. So we are considering them as potential criminals.
Right.
I mean, are we considering?
No. We are verifying their antecedents so that they do not unnecessarily add to the crime graph of Meghalaya. If they have had criminal records which they have committed in their home state, obviously such characters will not be welcome to work in Meghalaya.
It can apply to other citizens who come here also.
As the law of the land prevails over every Indian.
The question is why only to them? All the people who come here.
No, because every state, and in particular in the case of Meghalaya, we depend largely on migrant workers coming from outside of Meghalaya, because there is a shortfall of local workforce available, and therefore we anticipate that that number will be significant enough that if we do not verify their antecedents, they become a threat to the peace, stability and security of Meghalaya. Once this decision has been taken today, I am sure that this will allay the fears of illegal immigration to a large extent. As I said in the past, two major components of people entering Meghalaya are either tourists or laborers. In the case of laborers, they tend to stay for a longer period of time, which is why we have introduced today's amendment in order to tighten the rule of law that would prevail over such a labor force.
Once again, if you can say the name of this amendment.
Okay. The amendment is called Amendment to the Meghalaya Identification, Registration, within bracket, Safety and Security of Migrant Workers, MIRSS Act 2020, and the Meghalaya Identification, Registration, within brackets, Safety and Security of Migrant Workers Rules 2020. So there is an act and rules framed under that act. We have approved the amendments to the rules, but the amendment to the act, which includes the enhanced penalty, this will have to go to the State Assembly for its final approval.
Pidon kam projector ban peni film ne pidon kam projector nak bentai ki awareness program jongpi phun singi ni ai wai shapi pran nyau lai wei khandai hndru gi wei ar nyau lai